Šioje antroje dalyje kalbės ne projektus administruojančios ar kontroliuojančios institucijos, antroje dalyje kalbės live projektų vykdytojai ir projektų rengėjai, tad tikrai labai turime įdomių pašnekovų. Nors Lietuvoje yra vykdyti 35 live programos projektai, juos pristatinėjome ankstesnių renginių metu. Į šį renginį, kuris vyksta nuotoliniu būdu, stengiamės išnaudoti tą galimybę ir pakvietėme projektus ir savo patirtį pristatyti užsieniečius. Tai jie kalbės ne švedų, ispanų ar estų kalba, jie kalbės anglų kalba, tad tikimės visi galėsite suprasti. Vėliau video įrašą šitos vaizdo konferencijos kitą savaitę planuojame patalpinti į savo YouTube kanalą, tad galėsite bet kada dar kartą peržiūrėti ir pakartotinai susipažinti su tomis pranešimų dalimis, kurios jums buvo įdomiausios. Tad kviečiu žiūrėti pirmą pranešimą. Mano nuomonė, tai nuostabus projektas, kiek teko su juo susipažinti, parodantis, kaip galima panaudoti gamtoje esantį turtą, dumblius, tiksliau titnagdumblių šarvelius, saulės baterijų efektyvumui padidinti. Tad kviečiu žiūrėti Harriet iš Švedijos pranešimą.
Hello, my name is Harriet Utterholm and I'm representing a company called Swedish Algae Factory. And we are producing advanced material from algae. We are very happy to receive the grant from EU, and our project is called the Live Sun Algae Project. The main objective of this project is to demonstrate that our algae material can give a significant enhancement in the efficiency of silicon-based solar panels. Our second objective is to demonstrate that we can produce the algae material in a larger production facility for up to 12 months. The Sun Algae project will contribute to reduction in carbon dioxide, both for the production process, where carbon dioxide from the fish farm is captured by the algae, but also by the increased green energy produced from the solar panels, where we will enhance the efficiency. One additional benefit from the Sun Algae project is the capture of nitrogen and phosphorus from the fish farm, reducing the nutrients in the wastewater and eutrophication in the seas. In this presentation, I will start talking about our material, what we are producing and how we are using that in the solar panel industry. And then by the end, I will talk a little bit about how we actually produce the material and how we are going to utilize the grant. The kind of algae that we are producing and working with are called diatoms. This is a very common type of algae. You can find it everywhere in the sea. You can even find it beneath the ice in the Arctic. So they're very common. They're old. They are developed during millions of years of evolution and play a very important role in our ecosystem. About 20% of the global carbon fixation is done by diatoms. And the oxygen in every fourth breath you take comes from diatoms. You can find diatoms in all kinds of different shapes. They can be spherical, they can be elongated, they could look like bracelets. You can see some of the examples on the pictures here. What they all have in common is that they are very beautiful. They have this kind of glittering thing around them, and that is a glass shell. And it's this glass shell that we are interested in and that we are extracting in our process. Looking at these kind of shells more up front, you can look at the microscope picture of them here. They're called frustals in the scientific name for them. And they are about 50 micrometer large, and they look like kind of a box. And there are two halves, and the algae lives inside this box. This very special shell has been designed by nature to protect the algae. It's very robust and it's hard, and it gives a good physical protection for the algae. The pore structure is designed for efficient absorb nutrients that the algae need, while they at the same time blocks harmful substances from entering the algae. The algae's DNA is sensitive to UV light, like for all living species, and the shell has been designed in such a way that it blocks the UV light from entering into the cell. At the bottom of the slide, you can see an enlarged picture of the pore structure, and you can see that all the pores are very uniform, and that there are also smaller pores within the larger pores. And this is very typical for the diatoms. Depending on what species you're working with, you have between 2 and 4 different layers of pores, and there's always a smaller pore centered inside a larger pore. So you create kind of a funnel structure. And it is this pore structure, this is very unique pore structure, that gives the properties to this material. And it also gives optical properties that are similar to a photonic crystal. And this is why it makes it so interesting to utilize this material in the solar panel industry. If you look at the properties from the solar industry point of view, the material traps visible light very efficiently. You can imagine that the algae is living on the bottom of the sea, and our waters here up in the Nordics are not that clear, and not much light that comes down to the algae. Still, the algae is dependent on photosynthesis, so it needs to capture all the light it can. So the shell has been designed to really trap the light. And I mentioned that it blocks UV light, but it's not only blocking UV light by absorption, it's also manipulating the UV light. So actually, UV light can be transferred into visible light, so the algae can use a bigger portion of the incoming radiation. The material is durable and stable, as I mentioned, and this is very important when you're working with the solar panel industry, because you imagine that they're installed for a long time. The warranty is typically between 20 and 25 years. They are outside year-round, 24/7, and have to withstand all kinds of weather conditions. So they have to be durable and stable, and this material is extremely stable. Looking more detail in the light trapping, it's the pore structure that is causing the trapping, and you can see on the picture at the bottom here that it's sort of channeling the light down through the pores. And the pores also prevent backscattering, ensuring that the light is really trapped. There have been tests done when the diatom frustal layer has been put on top of an active material, and you have seen enhanced efficiency gain by a factor of 1.4 compared to an comparison without any effect then. And this has also been verified in the simulation experience when we've seen a 32% enhancement. What is also very interesting for the solar industry is that the light trapping, light focusing effect can be seen independent from the incident angle of light. And that is important, since you can imagine that the sun is moving over the sky, and you need to be able to have an efficient energy gain also in the morning and afternoon. I've already talked a little bit about UV blocking, and it's actually our research leader, Professor Angela Wolf, who has taken part in a research study related to this, together with a group of physicists at the University of Technology in Linköping, and a similar group down in Italy, and they together made a study where they were putting a monolayer of this kind of frustals on a UV-sensitive film, and then were exposed it to UV radiation, and could see that the shells really very efficiently blocks the UV light from entering this film. The UV blocking efficiency is important in a solar panel, especially in the encapsulant. Encapsulant is the polymer layer between the solar cell and the glass on the solar panel. And this polymer is sometimes sensitive to UV light and can yellow. And if it's yellow, then the efficiency of the solar panel will be reduced. So by introducing some kind of material that is trapping the UV radiation can prolong the efficiency and enhance the efficiency of the solar panel. The most interesting effect or property of the material is the wavelength shift, and that is caused by photoluminescence. So there are centers in this material that absorb UV light and then emit it again with a shift of 100 wavelengths. So UV light is shifting to blue light, and blue light is shifting to green light. And it's mainly in this sort of wavelengths you can see this shift. And this is, of course, very important in solar panels since you can utilize a bigger portion of the light that comes from the sun. So where are we today? So far, we have been able to verify in a test with an independent research institute that we can achieve a 4% efficiency enhancement of a solar cell. We have ongoing studies with a few producer encapsulant where initial positive result. We also started studies with producers of anti-reflective coatings. And anti-reflective coating is something put on top of the glass on the solar panel. And the aim is, of course, to prevent the reflection of light and make sure that you get as much light as possible into the panel. And we believe that our material should have a very good effect when used in that way. Where we have reached long so far is together with a French company that is active in the retrofit segment. So they are focusing on the already installed panels. And you know that development is very fast, and the panels that have been installed in the field for a couple of years, they have much lower efficiency than the ones installed today. And the producer of electricity, they want to get as much as possible from what they have installed. So this is a growing segment. And this company has prepared a coating where they have our material in the coating, and they have started doing field trials and seen an efficiency gain of up to 5%. Due to the corona situation, this has been delayed now, but we hope that we'll be able to resume the field testing after the summer so we can really verify these results. So this was what I'm going to tell you about the material itself and how we use it in the solar industry. Now I will move over to talk a little bit about how we're producing the material. So I said already in the beginning that we are working together with the fish farm. And from them we get a nutrient-rich water that also contains a lot of carbon dioxide. This together with the sunlight is the optimal conditions for our algae. And we are growing them in shallow trays that are sort of mimicking the bottom of a sea. And we let the water slowly pour over these shelves and the trays, and then we can recirculate it, and after the nutrients is gone, we can return clean water that is enriched with oxygen to the fish farm again. About once a week we drain the water and we harvest the algae. And then we separate the algae, the shells from the biomass, and purify and dry the white material that we use in the solar panel industry. The biomass is rich in omega-3 and high fats and proteins that could be used in, for instance, fish feed. And that will be our ambition for the next step in our development, to really make sure that we can make a good use of that material as well, to create a true circular and sustainable industry. This is how our cultivation facility looks today. There's a prototype that we have made up where we have two models of what we are going to have also in the large industry later on. You can see the shallow trays. They are about 2 meters wide and 24 meters long. And the diatoms are growing as a brown biofilm on the bottom of the trays. So then the water is pouring from one end to the other, and then we drain the water and harvest the algae once a week. Next step will be to build a greenhouse similar to this one, and that's what we're going to use the EU grant for. It will not be exactly as big as this, about 2/3 of this, but it's the same type of greenhouse. And we have just recently started the procurement, and we hope that this new facility will be up and running second half of next year. So this is our team. You can see me in the middle there. My name is Harriet. And then we have Sophie, who is the founder of the company and our managing director. Angelia, a professor in marine biology. She is the co-founder, and she's the expert in algae. Gustav has a long history from algae cultivation from also other companies. Mikke is a researcher, algae researcher that used to work with Angela, and now within our company in charge of our cultivation. Justin is a chemical engineer, and he is the one that is in charge of our extraction process. This picture was taken about a year ago, and since we are growing, we have hired 5 more persons since then. Sanna and Peter are both working part-time in a cultivation facility, harvesting the algae. Mikael, he started a month ago, and he's expert in automation, and he will work together with Justin to scale up our processes. Ulf is a finance guy. He started this week, actually, and he will take care of our financials. And Lisette will start 1st of June, and will strengthen our sales team and ensure that we can also sell the material we produce. So thank you very much for your attention, and I will be happy to answer your question. Thank you.
Sveiki dar kartą. Labai norėtumėm užduoti dabar klausimus Harrietai. Deja, turėjome ryšį su ją prieš 10 minučių ir kaip tik ji pasakė telefonu, kad dingo elektra namuose. Tai bandome kol kas atstatyti tą ryšį ir tikimės galėsime gyvai pamatyti ją ir užduoti jūsų klausimus. O kol kas norėčiau apžvelgti jūsų balsavimo rezultatus, kuriuos uždavėme prieš tai. Tai matau, kad į klausimą, kuri LIFE programos sritis jūsų nuomonė yra aktualiausia Lietuvai, skiltis aplinka ir išteklių naudojimo efektyvumas surinko 66% jūsų balsų, gamta ir bioįvairovė 11%, klimatas 18%, o informavimas ir valdysena 5%. 97% iš jūsų atsakėte į šitos klausimus, tad matau, kad didžioji dalis mūsų žiūrovų yra būtent stebi šią konferenciją iš aplinkos ir išteklių naudojimo efektyvumo. Džiugu, gamtoje ir biologiniai įvairoviai. Šitoje srityje Lietuvoje tikrai turime patyrusių pareiškėjų, kurie parengė nuostabius projektus ir tai išlieka vienu iš LIFE programos prioritetų. Tad tikimės, kad visų sričių paraiškos šiemet bus pateikiamos, o daugiausiai tuomet laukiame iš aplinkos ir išteklių naudojimo efektyvumo. So I see that we have Harriet back. Okay. How long does your project last? How much time?
Originally for 3.5 years, but we are right now in the process to apply for prolongation, and that is due to some regulatory issues that are out of control. But we have received very good support from EU in this process. We will prolong the project with 1 to 2 years.
And do you expect that the process that you are performing in the project will be financially sustainable in the long run?
Definitely, I think so, yeah. We have seen a great interest for what we are doing, and we are working with several parties in the industry that are testing our material. So we think that this will be both financially and environmentally sustainable industry.
Okay, great. I see that there are no more questions at the moment. So I ask participants, if you wish, you can still write in Slido your last question that we could raise. I see that we experienced some sound problems, but we hope that we have restored the sounds. Okay, now it's everything perfect. So I don't see any more questions. So thank you, Harriet. Really, it was very interesting presentation, very interesting project. And I guess those people who saw it first, they still need time to get the idea and to think about it. So in case we have any requests from our audience, could we forward them to you if they want to cooperate or to know more about your project? Can we contact you again?
That's good.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Harriet. So now we will move to the next presentation. Tai galiu turbūt pasakyti lietuviškai. Kitą mūsų pranešimą pristatys Timo Kark iš Estijos aplinkosaugos agentūros. Pristatys Estijos patirtį LIFE programoje, visus projektus trumpai apžvelgs, kuriuos Estija įgyvendino. Estija pradėjo LIFE programoje dalyvauti intensyviai šiek tiek anksčiau negu Lietuva, tad matysite, kad nors ir šalis mažesnė, jie jau yra įgyvendinę daugiau LIFE projektų. Taip pat ir integruotosius projektus jau 2 yra pradėję. Lietuva mes vykdome jau kelinti metai vieną gamtinį integruotąjį projektą, o Timo Kark iš Estijos pristatys ir vandens srities integruotąjį projektą. Tad kviečiame žiūrėti jo pranešimą. Ir vėliau pranešimo metu galite užduoti klausimus, o vėliau galės Timo atsakyti gyvai, tikiuosi elektra nedings.
Hello, Lithuania. My name is Timo Kark, and I work for the Estonian Environment Agency as a LIFE project manager. This is my second LIFE project to manage, but previously I have been involved in the preparation of other LIFE projects as well. And I have been advising LIFE applicants in the past too. Today I was asked to give a short overview about the use of LIFE program in Estonia, and secondly to introduce the first LIFE integrated project. So in 27 years, European Commission has supported 40 Estonian LIFE projects with a total of 44 million euros. And as you may see from the figure, the number of successful proposals is rather low, in average 1.5 proposals per year. And there are several years when the success rate is 0 and we haven't got any projects from LIFE program. Most of our projects have been nature-related projects, and there are a couple of reasons for that. Definitely, in the beginning, when LIFE program was launched, it was only meant for the habitats and bird directed. So no other project types were not even possible. Later on, other fields were added, like environment and climate. And for nature projects, the co-financing rate from LIFE program is higher, of course, compared to the environmental or climate sub-program. So Estonian applicants definitely prefer to apply grants for nature projects. And for at least in Estonia, for nature projects, we have a national co-financing system available. It's possible to ask additional funding from Estonian Environmental Fund to cover your own contribution. Most of our applicants have been public authorities, for example, Ministry of the Environment and the Environmental Board mainly. Environmental Board just finished a couple of projects 2 years ago. One of the projects was restoration of the Alvars in Saaremaa Island, which was a great success. And it was also chosen as one of the best impact to the socio-economic field. So they created new jobs, they developed farming there, and they used new technology to restore the habitats. And the second project they finished was urban cows. They brought cows to the Pärnu city to restore coastal meadows. In the beginning, it was quite weird to have cows in the cities, but finally local people were used to that, and also the city itself supported the project by covering part of their own contribution, and they got cleaned coastal meadows, and beside that the hiking trail was created to the beach, and which is just located to the very popular sandy beach where thousands of tourists and Estonians go every day in summer. And this hiking trail has become a very great tourist attraction. 1/3 of our beneficiaries has been NGOs. They have done a great job in Estonia by implementing several nature projects like restoration of mires, restoration of river habitats, improving the status of protected species, example, fish, eagles, black stork, lizards, bats, and etc. So they have done a very great job. For example, Wildlife Estonia and Nature Fund for Estonia. These two beneficiaries have been the most active ones in Estonia. And unfortunately, only 3% of our beneficiaries have been small and medium enterprises. Yes, it's not, LIFE program is not maybe so suitable for private enterprises, but there are possibilities for them to have for funding, but it's very specific. The project has to be demonstration project or pilot project, and there are some private enterprises who might benefit from the program, but we just have to find them. So in a very short conclusion, in Estonia we don't have national co-financing system in place like you do have in Lithuania, but for nature projects it's possible to ask your own contribution from the environmental fund. It's not 100% sure, but it's possible. And unfortunately, in recent years, the budget of the environmental fund has been decreased due to the environmental taxes. And but we are trying to develop the national co-financing system for Estonia as well. And a couple of years ago, we started with that. And actually, we got a very positive feedback from the minister. And since then, we have trying to develop it. But at the moment, we must agree in the details. So how high should be the national co-financing rate? And should be the same for every beneficiary. For example, should it be the same for private companies, and should it be the same for NGOs? So we need to make a difference. Also, LIFE program is not definitely so attractive as other European funds or even Estonian National Environmental Fund. LIFE program, its co-financing rate is lower. In environmental field, it's only 55, but compared to the cohesion fund, it's in cohesion it's often 90% or even higher. So LIFE has to compete with other programs, and yeah, it's very specific, and some beneficiaries might find it suitable. So the application system is much more complicated compared to the other programs. It takes almost a year since you submit the proposal and when you finally got the answer from the European Commission. So it takes almost a year. And the guidelines are very long. They're in English and they're often hard to understand. It's much better now with a two-stage approach, which was first launched in 2018. But you still need to take it very seriously, the concept note phase. It looks very easy, only 10 pages of text and one table of very general budget table. But we have learned in Estonia that our applicants don't take it seriously. In 2018, 14 concept notes were submitted, and only 4 of them got to the second stage. And out of the 4 who got to the second stage, none of them got the funding finally. So in Estonia, we are trying to improve the quality of the concept note in the future. So that's it for the overview. Now I jump to the second topic, which is LIFE IP cleanest. Estonian Environmental Agency is part of the project, and Ministry of the Environment is leading the project. There are totally 24 partners, including local counties, environmental board, environmental inspectorate, and so on. The total budget of the project is 16.67 million euros, and it lasts for 10 years. The IP means that it's integrated project, and that means that beside the 16.67 million euros, we need to find extra money and additional fundings and projects which will support our objectives and our project. So in the proposal we have showed that at least 55 millions of funding will be additional for this project. So Estonia is rich of water. 1/4 of our land is covered with the wetlands. We have a lot of streams, rivers, ditches, and with that it comes a lot of responsibilities and also a lot of problems, unfortunately. We are not able to cover the whole Estonia, so we are dealing with one part of the Estonia, which is the most complicated one. Our industrial zone is there, our oil shale industry is there, a lot of quarries, and most of the water bodies are in poor or moderate condition. As you may see from the figure, only few rivers are in good condition, and most of them are in very poor condition. And also the groundwater is polluted there. So this is a figure about the concrete actions we are going to implement in the next 10 years. And also we are trying, as I told you before, we are trying to find additional projects which will support our actions. So in order to improve the quality of the water bodies, we need to deal with all the factors at the same time. It's no point to deal only with the fish barriers or just deal with the agriculture problems. We need to solve all the problems together at the same time. Then we have the best impact. So in this project, we are trying to solve the fish barriers. We are dealing with pollution coming from agriculture. We are dealing with the residual pollution, which is from the Soviet time, and it's still there, and it still pollutes the groundwater and also the water bodies. And also we are trying to restore the quarries. So in life projects, you must be able to prove that your actions had positive impact. So in order to do that, at the moment we are monitoring the base level, and after we have implemented the concrete actions, so about in 8 years, we're going to do the second monitoring to compare the results. Besides that, of course, we need to improve the capacity of the authorities, the local authorities, environmental board, environmental inspectorate, and other authorities as well. And also we need to improve the collaboration between different authorities. So this is part of the project. And as a new thing, we are trying to implement this new approach, ecosystem service assessment methodology. And this is something the environmental agency is responsible for. So quickly, a couple of pictures to show you what we are going to do there. The first picture is about removing residual pollution from Erra River, which is very polluted. As you may see, the oil thickness is about 2 meters in the soil. So it smells bad, and it's still polluting the groundwater. And part of the river will be cleaned thanks to Cohesion Fund, and part of the river will be cleaned thanks to the LIFE project. So this is the synergy between different programs, and to show you how the integrated project should work. And also we are cleaning some old factory areas from the pollution. Fish barriers. there are totally 70 fish barriers in the region, in the project area, and we have budget only for to remove 6 dams or to create fish passes for 6 dams. Most of the dams are out of use. They don't have any purpose anymore, for example, like this. But some of them still have any purpose. This next dam is located in Purtse River, and Purtse River is used to be one of the best salmonites river in Estonia. But due to the industry and a lot of waste was directed into the water, and in the 70s, all wildlife was dead. So, and in some point, it was said that in some point the river even burned. But since 90s or from 90s, we got first positive news. One fisherman caught a salmon from the river, and since then we have monitored the river, and we have reintroduced salmons in the river every year. And this dam is the last one remaining there. We have removed all the other dams, or we have created fish passes, and this is the last one standing in the river. And we have already spoken with the dam owner, and we are basically got the approval to remove the dam. So some dams are more complicated. This dam is used for fish farming. We don't have any good solutions there. There are a lot of illegal dams in the middle of nowhere, but they will be easy to remove. And for some dams, we don't have any solutions at the moment, but we are working on that. In our project area, also Narva River is there. And Narva River is one of the biggest rivers in Estonia. And for big rivers, we have a separate methodology how to monitor fish. But this methodology has never been tested in Estonia, so we are testing it the first time during this project. And we have just last week we labeled our first fish there, our first 11 fish, and this is a 500 grams of 500 gram perch. So also we are using biotelemetry nets, Viking nets, electricity, river lamprey traps to monitor the status of fish in Narva River. Narva River is very complicated. As you may see from the next figure, part of the Narva River is totally dry most of the year. And this part of the river section is actually the best area for salmons to spawn. But as it's dry most of the time, it's impossible to use for salmons. They don't even get there. But only a couple of weeks per year, the river looks like that. When the water level is very high, the hydropower station needs to remove the extra water. So the river should look like that. But unfortunately, most of the time, it looks like that. But we are trying to solve the problem, of course, but we are able to do it only with in collaboration with Russia, because the hydropower station belongs to Russia. So that's it. More information about the project can be found on the website. Thank you very much.
Sveiki visi. Šiuo metu turime Timo kaip tik prisijungusi, tad galėsiu užduoti jūsų klausimus jam. Hello, Timo. Nice to have you online.
Hello, everybody.
We have a few questions to you. One question is, can we expect that our Estonian NGO partner will get the co-funding of the International Nature Project, the concept note of which will be submitted this year?
Mm-hmm. Yes, for our nature projects, it's possible to get the co-funding, co-financing your own contribution from the National Environmental Program. But they need to submit the application for that at the right time, which would be a couple of months before submitting the full proposal, which means it could be in October or in November somewhere. But the earlier, the better. And I would suggest them to contact with the Ministry of Environment, with the Nature Protection Department, and they will give the right directions how to apply.
Okay, and thank you for the answer. How is your IP proceeding so far? Do you have all stakeholders on board, meaning either included as partners or supporting your initiatives?
Mm-hmm. Well, at the moment, the project is progressing well, but we are a little bit behind the schedule due to the reason that we were not able to hire the project manager in the beginning of the project. So the project manager in the ministry started working 8 months after the project started. So they are doing a great job, and they have basically in 6 months they have prepared all the necessary agreements and budget, and now we are just finalizing the documents and how to approve some changes or well, generally it's progressing well, but we are a little bit behind, and most of the stakeholders are on board. We have I think 11 municipalities and total 24 partners. So all the partners which were supposed to be our partners in this project are on board. And also we are communicating with the relevant stakeholders as well, like dam owners and mining area owners.
And what are the biggest challenges with so many partners?
Well, luckily, this is a question for the Ministry of Environment, who has to deal with them. But probably I think, of course, communication and how to get decent documents and invoices and timetables and financial tables. But I am mainly communicating with 4 or 5 partners. And after the first year, it's definitely the communication and the collaboration has improved significantly. So this project really helps us to improve the collaboration. Otherwise, nobody knows what others are doing. But now it's getting better.
So the integrated projects are meant to be to support the coordination among the institutions. So I see that it works for your case.
Yeah, this is one of the actions and one of the priority to improve the capacity of the authorities and to improve the collaboration. And at least so far it has been better.
Okay, thank you very much, Timo, for sharing your experience here with us. And we wish you good luck with the integrated projects and removing further dams for fishes.
Thank you. And whenever your Lithuanian colleagues or applicants would like to visit our project or to know more about it, they are welcome to Estonia or welcome to write to me, and I can forward them to any contact necessary.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck.
Labai atsiprašome dalyvių, kad praeitos klausimų su praeitos pašnekovės metu buvo šiek tiek dingęs garsas. Atsiprašome už tos techninius nesklandumus. Galėsime atsakyti į klausimus vėliau raštu, pateikti atsakymus. Toliau, kitas mūsų pranešėjas yra iš Ispanijos Igor Idareta, Zabala Innovation Consulting kompanijos atstovas. Tai konsultantai padedantis pareiškėjams parašyti paraiškas tiek tradicinių projektų, tiek integruotųjų projektų. Matome iš jūsų klausimų, kad integruoti projektai jau yra aktualūs ir jums. Tad kviečiame pasižiūrėti Igorio pristatymą apie integruotosius projektus ir viso pranešimo metu galite rašyti klausimus, nes tikrai Igoris turi daug patirties ir vėliau galės gyvai į juos atsakyti.
Hello, good morning. This is Igor Idareta from Zabala Innovation Consulting. My presentation, as you can see there, it's going to be about the live integrated projects. First of all, I would like to thank you to the organizers just to invite us in order to share with you some of these ideas. So basically, our main goal today in the presentation is just try to share with you what are the main keys, what are the main aspects that you have to consider in order to prepare a really good integrated proposal. Okay, integrated project within the LIFE program. So let's start. As I told you, this is Zavala Innovation Consulting. We are a company with more than 30 years of experience in the management of innovation projects at regional, national, and European level, and we have more than 270 people. We are based on Spain. Okay, you can see here in the map that our headquarters are in Spain, but we also have offices around Europe, basically in Belgium, in France, and also we are present in South America in Colombia. And basically, why we are here? We have also a long experience within the LIFE program. Okay. Specifically, we have been supporting in Spain two of the integrated projects that have been funded in Spain in 2016 and 2018. And apart from that, we have a deep knowledge in the program because we have already funded more than 60 projects in the last 13 years with really high success rate, 60% in the last 3 calls between 2016 and 2018. Right now, the call of 2019 is under evaluation. And these projects are coming from very different countries, from more than 5 different countries at the European level. And at the end, we have achieved more than 75 million euros for our clients in this project. So we have a long experience in the program. So this is the clue. This is the definition that you can find in the guidelines about the integrated projects in LIFE. Okay, what is an integrated project? An integrated project is a tool designed to implement certain plans and strategies. It's to implement regional or national plans at large territorial scale. We can be speaking about regions, we can be speaking about several cities or full countries, taking care of engaging the different stakeholders concerned in the environmental problem. Engagement is the third key aspect. And finally, the mobilization of additional sources of funding in order to support not only the project, to support the implementation of this plan. Okay, so let's continue just pointing out what are the main issues on that areas. First of all, I was speaking about plans. What kind of plans are suitable to be funded under integrated projects in LIFE? You can see there we have different categories. It can be plans in the area of nature, in the area of water, waste, air, and also climate change adaptation, mitigation and adaptation in urban areas, or only mitigation. In each of these categories, for example, in air, the LIFE integrated projects program is supporting the implementation of air quality plans. So we need one established plan in a region, in a country, that it's the one that we are going to use in order to organize all the integrated project around this national plan, regional plan. So these are the areas. More, what is the key issue about these plans? The final target is the full implementation of these plans. And we can assume that the integrated project is not gonna cover all the actions in the plan. That's normal, because a plan will be a really ambitious set and portfolio of measures. The integrated project will not cover all the actions, will not fund all the actions, because we only have, as an average, 10 million euros. But the important thing is that the integrated project is creating the conditions for this implementation. That's the most important thing. So our integrated project must be linked to a specific plan. This specific plan, we must have within the consortium the organization responsible for its implementation. Again, implementation is the key part. And this plan must be formally adopted. Cannot be a draft or something like that. It must be something formally adopted at political level in the area. But you see that the key issue about the plan, apart from the thematic, it's its implementation. Apart from that, what's the second key issue, the second hot issue? Second hot issue is about the complementary funding and actions. It's a bit strange, but in the integrated projects, it's as important as the actions that we are performing within the project are the complementary actions that we develop around the integrated project. So the rule is that we have to mobilize at least one complementary fund. It's good that one integrated project is mobilizing several additional funds. What can be the relation between the light funding and the complementary funding? It depends. It can be 1 to 4, 1 to 10, depending on the project. We have different scenarios, but in general, we recommend to be ambitious and to try to mobilize as much as additional funding as we can. And why we have this funding? Because this funding is gonna go directly to the implementation of complementary actions. These complementary actions are actions outside the description of the integrated project, okay, but must be coherent. So the key issue is the combination of the activities that we put within the integrated project and these complementary actions that must be coherent and must be complementary. Let's speak a bit more about what kind of complementary actions we should undertake. A complementary action should be something that helps us to implement the same plan that we are dealing with in the integrated project. That's one point. And these kind of complementary actions can be a replication of something that we make in the live project, but doing that in a larger scale. It's like we are testing an approach in a restricted area in the live project, and when we are making the replication to the whole country, we are using complementary funds. Okay, that's a complementary action with complementary funds. That's okay. What is another idea? The third point. It's the implementation of a broader range of actions. Actions that are not in the live project, but are part of the plan implementation, and we are, let's say, performing them as well. Or it can be a combination of both type of actions. But in any case, they must be linked and implementing the plan that we are approaching. What else? Here in the next slides, I put some of the main differences between the live traditional projects that are much more known and the integrated projects. Okay, and I'm gonna just stop in some key aspects on each slide. Okay, the first one, it's about the size of the project. A typical traditional project in live program used to have 1 million, between 1 million and 2 million euros of European funding. Let's say that the average is 1 million euro funding per project. When we are speaking about integrated projects, the ambition is much higher. We are speaking about projects with an average of 10 million euros of European funding. Then the budget will be 15, 16, 17 million euros. Second important point, the main objective of the IPs is contribute to and catalyze the full implementation of the specific plans. Again, full implementation of the plans are the final target of the IPs. So again, important and crucial thing. Apart from that, we have already mentioned that it's compulsory the mobilization of other funding sources. Here in that point, these external funding sources can be from the European Union, it can be at national level, it can be at regional level, or at private funding. It's any source of funding different from the live budget. So, really relevant. Apart from that, the stakeholder involvement, it's really compulsory. We have to consider that these projects are integrated in the sense that are also integrating and engaging the different stakeholders. Another important difference, it's also the duration of the projects. Typically, a live project is between 1 to 5 years. In average, I would say 2 to 3. And when we are speaking about IPs, about integrated projects, at least they have 6 years, but it's quite typical to have 8 and 10 years of execution. So also the project duration, it's really different. And finally, one main aspect about this kind of projects, let's say that it's different from the typical ones, is that there is a part of the project that is aimed at the capacity building of the stakeholders in order to implement the full plan. This capacity building, it's in terms of being able to achieve this external funding and being able to make the project sustainable. Okay. So here I leave just a nice picture of the full portfolio of funded integrated projects. This picture is from last year. Probably this is changing from last evaluation of projects, but you may have there an example of what are the typical projects that there has been funded last years. Important when you are dealing with that, it's to check what kind of project has been funded in previous years in order to find complementarities and avoid overlapping. And finally, some practical tips. Okay, just a slide about how is the application and evaluation procedure. We have there the different steps, both of stage 1 and stage 2. I'm not gonna stop here because it's very well described in the guidelines, but some crucial tips for each of the stages. On the concept note, stage 1, it's only about 10 pages. It's 10 pages of description of the project. But what you need time is time to design the project, not to write. Each page must be really well worked, and it's not so easy. Let's say make 10 pages is easy, make 10 good pages takes work. On the other side, the submission procedure it's really simplified this year even more. It's electronic. We don't need signed forms in this stage 1, and basically, as everything, it's 1, 2, 3. First of all, start with a plan. Second, organize the actions. It means what you are performing within the integrated project and what you perform outside these complementary actions. And finally, engage the stakeholders. Coordinator, active partners, stakeholders, supporters, facilitators, multipliers, any single stakeholder you should consider. Once you have that, you are able to design your concept note. If you are retained, your concept note is positively evaluated, then you get to the full proposal, to the stage 2. In that case, the recommendations are really simple, because you have done the most difficult part, that it's the design of the proposal. Apart from that, the second stage, you have just to follow the recommendations that you are gonna have from EASME, and yes, you have the correct approach, you have the orientation. It's just work, work, work. Then when you finish, a little bit more of work. But it's not so complicated. Let's say that the important thing is in the design of the proposal. Apart from that, just to remind you that the staff from EASME and the NEMO monitors are open to discuss with you your potential ideas of integrated projects. They are really willing to discuss all these, all your questions that you may have. And in any case, just to finalize, take into account that in any case, it's really necessary to have a really deep look on the guidelines, the guideline for applicants and the guide for evaluations, where all the different steps are really well explained, and where you will find also different novelties from this 2020 call that has relevant novelties. Some of them derive from the COVID-19 outbreak, and other ones just because of the simplification process of the program. So that's all. Thank you very much. So I think now it's time for some questions. Thanks.
Hello, Igor. Nice to have you here in Lithuanian video conference.
Hello, good morning.
We have a few questions from our audience. The first question is, what is important when planning a long-term sustainability of an integrated project?
Basically, I would say that what you have to take into account is to consider all what you are going to need to implement once the project is finished. Okay, it's basically about explaining what is the long-term strategy that you have once your IP has finished. So basically, you have to identify very clearly which actions from your project are going to continue after the end of the project, and what are going to be the resources that you are going to need for that, to perform that actions. Okay, especially in terms of staff resources. And after that, there are also two key points that it's also the use that of the equipment that you have purchased in the project, in case that you have purchased durable goods, that you have to ensure that they are use for the purpose of sustaining the environment, and also what are going to be the dissemination activities of the results and lessons learned once the project is finished, so that you can spread all this information and lessons through the different stakeholders.
Okay, thank you. Another question is, what is the difference between pilot and demonstration activities in the integrated project? To what extent should they be used in the IP, meaning climate change mitigation or energy efficiency area?
Yeah. Okay. Let's say that the definitions of pilot and demonstration activities in the IPs is the same as in the traditional projects. So basically, the difference is the innovation level of that action. In the case of the pilot actions, we are thinking on really innovative actions that are new or unknown in let's say in a whole context. It's a new technology that has been never tested. In the case of the demonstration, the technology is not fully new, but it's the novelty is that we are applying that technology or that technique in an environment that is not the usual one. So you are, let's say, improving or having more applications for a given technology. That can be, maybe one clear example is that something is working in I don't know, an aeronautic sector, but it is only used there. And if you are applying that technique in other sectors like, I don't know, agro-food, for example, you could get important improvements. This part should be demonstration. Regarding the second part of the question, to what extent we use that in our IP project, let's say that I personally recommend that we include as much innovative actions in our project as we can. Even if in the IPs we can also include best practices, that it's something that it's not allowed in other types of life projects. My recommendation is to include enough number of innovative actions called as pilot or demonstration. In that case, I don't see a preference between demonstration of pilot, but just to have in a good number of innovative actions within the IP project.
And a related question is, if we have a governmental organization, public institutions involved in the integrated project, who should implement the pilot activities? It's not the authorities that are usually implementing pilot activities. So based on your experience, what partners are implementing pilot activities?
It depends on the different situation of each project and the different situation on each country or region. In general, I would say that Life program tries to adapt to the normal situation that it's in your country. What does it mean? It means that a lot of times the public administration is not doing the action, so they are not implementing directly the action. So in some cases, for example, there are technology centers that are applying this action. This is an option. There can be as well other levels of the administration, maybe regions, maybe municipalities, etc. And also depending on your structure, for example, in Spain, there are some kind of executive agencies, depending on the administration, but that are a little bit more flexible in terms of implementing actions. So they used to be these kind of executive agencies, similar to the ones that the European Commission has, the ones that are implementing these actions.
Okay. Lutauras is raising a question. what is your experience and recommendations regarding IP Marine Nature project for Lithuania?
Marine litter.
Marine Nature.
Marine nature. What is my recommendation? I would recommend, in the case of marine nature, I would recommend you to have a look to the first integrated project on that area, or one of the first projects funded in that area. That it was an Spanish one in Temares. That it's basically by far the first project that was dealing with that issue extensively. Okay, and having in mind that the marine nature in Spain, it's a country with a very long coastline, and there is multiple habitats and biodiversity issues. So they set a little bit the reference of how to deal with that. My first recommendation would be that one, to look at the experience of some of the first projects.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't see any more questions, so I will ask my question. Would you be ready to provide support to Lithuanian applicants who are planning to write integrated project proposal?
Mm-hmm. Yes, as a matter of fact, we are, we are a European company. Our headquarters are in Spain, but we also have offices in France, in Belgium, in Brussels, and also in London. And as a matter of fact, around 26% of the proposals that we are supporting in the submission are coming from countries that are not Spain. We work a lot with Germany, with France, Italy, etc. We have not worked yet with Lithuania, but for sure, it's something that we can do as well.
Okay. So thank you for being here with us, and I hope we will continue our cooperation with Lithuanian audience. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mūsų konferencija jau eina į pabaigą. Iš tiesų liko paskutinis pranešimas, mano pranešimas, kuriuo metu galite užduoti paskutinius klausimus ir vėliau dar prašysime užpildyti renginio apklausą. Šiuo pranešimu noriu pristatyti pagalbą LIFE programos pareiškėjams, tiek jau parengtą metodinę medžiagą ir įrankius, tiek paslaugas, kurias mes, aplinkos projektų valdymo agentūra, galime nemokamai suteikti LIFE programos pareiškėjams iki pat paraiškų pateikimo. Pagrindinis leidinys, su kuriuo pirmiausia turėtų susipažinti norintys rengti LIFE paraišką, tai jau šiandien minėtos gairės pareiškėjams. Visų prioritetinių sričių gairės tradiciniams projektams bei gairės integruotiesiems projektams galite rasti mūsų svetainėje lifeprojektai.lt skiltyje pareiškėjams gairės. O aplinkos ir išteklių naudojimo efektyvumo srities gairės pareiškėjams esame išvertę į lietuvių kalbą. Jas taip pat galite rasti mūsų svetainėje. Norintis patys pasitikrinti savo idėjos tinkamumą LIFE programai, sužinoti esminius reikalavimus projektų veikloms ar biudžetui, kviečiami pasinaudoti mūsų sukurtų LIFE gidų. Čia rasite suklasifikuotą informaciją su tiesioginėmis nuorodomis į specializuotus dokumentus, išsamesnę grafinę ir vaizdo medžiagą. Šios vaizdo konferencijos įrašą galėsite matyti tiek Facebook'e, tiek vėliau paskelbsime savo YouTube kanale LIFE projektai. Tame pačiame YouTube kanale galite rasti ir visų ankstesnių mūsų internetinių seminarų įrašus. Tame tarpe seminarai buvo įrašyti apie tai, kaip paruošti koncepciją gamtiniam projektui arba kaip paruošti koncepciją aplinkos išteklių efektyvumo sričiai. Esame paskelbę ir video įrašą apie tai, kaip sudaryti LIFE projekto biudžetą. Tas bus ypač aktualu klimato paprogramės pareiškėjams, nes jie iki spalio 6 dienos turės jau pateikti išsame paraišką su biudžetu. Informaciją apie visus mūsų naujus internetinius seminarus skelbsime tiek savo Facebook paskyroje, tiek svetainėje lifeprojektai.lt. Jau šiandien buvo minėta, kad LIFE projektų paraiškos Europos komisijai teikiamos per e-proposal paraiškų pateikimo platformą. Prisijungę jau dabar prie tos platformos ir užpildę pradinę informaciją apie savo projektą, galėsite atsisiųsti koncepcijos formą arba klimato paprogramės atveju išsamios paraiškos formą. O mes tą formą esame jau parengę pavyzdinę ir galite ją pamatyti mūsų svetainėje, taip pat live.lt ir susipažinti su visais skyriais koncepcijos, kuriuos turėsite užpildyti teikdami paraišką per e-proposal sistemą. Jeigu neturite dar patys patirties LIFE programoje, pravartu į projektą įtraukti patyrusį partnerį. Visas Lietuvos, Latvijos ir Estijos organizacijas vykdžiusias LIFE projektus galite rasti mūsų parengtoje LIFE projektų duomenų bazėje. Ir taip pat informaciją apie užsienio šalių vykdytus projektus ir Lietuvos pareiškėjų projektų vykdytojų vykdytus projektus skelbėme ir savo svetainėje live.lt. Tenai galite rasti ir projektų pasiektus jau rezultatus ir susipažinti su jais. Mes aplinkos projektų valdymo agentūra liekame jūsų paslaugoms ir po šios vaizdo konferencijos. Individualūs vaizdo susitikimai prasidės iš karto po konferencijos. Jeigu dar nesate užsiregistravę, tačiau paaiškėjo, kad norėtumėte tokioje individualioje konsultacijoje sudalyvauti, kviečiame parašyti mums elektroniniu paštu info@lifeprojektai.lt ir su jumis susisieksime dėl konkretaus konsultacijų laiko. Agentūroje yra įsteigta LIFE gebėjimų stiprinimo Lietuvoje grupė, kuri konsultuoja pareiškėjus tiek telefonu, tiek elektroniniu paštu. Taip pat turime galimybę samdyti išorės ekspertus, kurie suteiktų jums pagalbą rengiant paraišką. Tad kviečiame kreiptis. Kaip matau, turime klausimą, ar nevertėtų jums organizuoti pasitarimo su aplinkos ministerijos vertintojais dėl projekto idėjos ir planuojamų veiklų prieš rengiant koncepciją. Ar tai įmanoma? Iš tiesų yra buvusi tokia patirtis, kad padėjome projektų vykdytojams, projektų pareiškėjams susitikti su aplinkos ministerijos darbuotojais ir išsiaiškinti jų idėjos reikalingumą ir aktualumą Lietuvai, tai tikrai tai yra įmanoma. Į vertinimo posėdžius nebūdavo kviečiami pareiškėjai dėl to, kad norėta užtikrinti vienodas sąlygas visiems vertintojams. Tad mano nuomonė, geresnis būtų pasitarimas ne su vertintojais, bet su tiesiog tas sritis kuruojančiais aplinkos ministerijos darbuotojais. Ir tikrai perduosim šitą pasiūlymą ir aplinkos ministerijai. Sigita Alčauskienė, žiūri mus, ir Lina Čeičytė, tai yra aplinkos ministerijos nacionaliniai kontaktiniai asmenys. Ir galite kreiptis tiesiogiai į juos dėl jūsų idėjų aptarimo ministerijoje arba tiesiogiai į tuos departamentus ar grupės ministerijoje, kurie kuruoja jūsų projektų klausimus ir aptarti. O galutinį sprendimą dėl bendro finansavimo vertinimo visada priima aplinkos ministerijos vadovybė. Jeigu dar norėtumėte, tai prašom užduoti dabar paskutinius klausimus, nes norėtumėme jau konferenciją baigti. Jeigu klausimų nėra, tai labai paprašytumėme dabar visų įvertinti mūsų konferenciją, ką manote. Tad aktyvuojame apklausą ir prašome visiems drąsiai pildyti. O pabaigai dar noriu priminti, kad įrašas šitos konferencijos bus prieinamas Facebook'e, pasiekiamas Facebook'e nuo pat dabar, kai jinai baigsis, o vėliau kitą savaitę, kai tik bus paruoštas kokybiškas įrašas, paskelbsime savo YouTube kanale LIFE projektai. Tad galite visada apsilankyti ir mūsų svetainėje, ten taip pat įdėsime nuorodą prie šio renginio svetainės, kai jau bus paskelbtas įrašas. O pačiai pabaigai galiu pasakyti tiek, kad laukiame jūsų laiškų, laukiame jūsų skambučių, tikimės toliau bendradarbiauti. Dirbame su Live programa jau 4 metai, dirbsime dar ir šiemet. O dabar skanių pietų